You look at her. She's sleeping, curled up, peaceful, breathing slow. She ate this morning, used the litter box, maybe even purred when you walked by. So she's fine, right? Let me ask you something. If your cat were in serious pain right now, would you even know? Because here's the uncomfortable truth most owners never hear. Cats are biologically wired to hide pain. Not minimize it. Not tolerate it. Hide it. And that instinct, it's killing early detection in millions of homes. Today we're going to expose something most pet owners, and even some vets, don't explain clearly enough. Your cat won't cry. She won't limp dramatically. She won't look at you and say something's wrong. Pain doesn't start when you notice it. Pain starts long before that. And by the time you see obvious symptoms, it's often already advanced, irreversible, expensive, and in some cases deadly over time. But don't panic. By the end of this video, you will know exactly when it starts, what to watch for, and how to protect her before silent damage builds. But first, we need to talk about why cats lie to you. Not intentionally, biologically. The predator that pretends to be fine. Your cat isn't just a pet. She's a small predator. And in the wild, showing weakness is a death sentence. A limping cat. A cat that cries in pain. A cat that can't jump. That cat gets hunted. So evolution built something shocking into feline survival. They mask vulnerability at all costs. Even when it hurts. Even when it's serious. Even when it's life-threatening. Experts warn that cats often don't show overt signs of pain until the condition is significantly progressed. That means when you finally notice something off, it didn't just start yesterday. It may have started weeks ago, months ago, sometimes longer. And this is where most owners get it wrong. They look for dramatic symptoms. Cats operate in subtle shifts, micro-behaviors, tiny changes in routine. And we dismiss them. She's just getting older. He's moody today. She doesn't feel like playing. He's always been like that. But what if those weren't personality traits? What if that's when it started? The first invisible shift, energy withdrawal. Let's start with something small. Your cat plays less. Not stops, just less. She still moves, still walks, still jumps occasionally. But the zoom is less intense. The chase, shorter. The jumping to high shelves, less frequent. You assume she's maturing. She's calming down. But here, what many experts don't say loudly enough. Reduced activity is one of the earliest signs of chronic pain in cats. Especially dental discomfort, early arthritis, internal inflammation, kidney strain, gastrointestinal irritation. But because cats compensate, it doesn't look dramatic. They don't limp at first. They adjust. They avoid certain movements, choose lower surfaces, sleep more. And here's the part that should concern you. Most owners celebrate this. She's so calm now. He's finally relaxed. When in reality, that could be the moment pain quietly began. And we missed it. The purring myth. This one shocks people. We associate purring with happiness, comfort, trust, love. But cats also purr when they're stressed, in pain, even near deaths. Purring isn't a happiness guarantee. It's a self-soothing mechanism. Some researchers believe purring frequencies may even stimulate healing or provide internal comfort during distress. So when your cat curls up, purring softly, that does not automatically mean she feels fine. Now, I'm not saying purring equals pain. I'm saying it doesn't rule it out. And this false safety belief keeps owners from investigating deeper. The grooming clue most people miss. Here's another subtle shift. Over-grooming or under-grooming. Let me ask you, has your cat started obsessively licking one spot? Or stopped grooming certain areas entirely? That's not random. Over-grooming can signal underlying pain, nerve discomfort, skin irritation, stress from internal issues. Under-grooming often signals arthritis, twisting hurts, dental pain, mouth discomfort affects grooming motivation, systemic illness. But again, it happens gradually. So gradually you adapt to it. And this is where silent damage compounds. Because pain doesn't scream. It whispers. The dental time bomb. Now we're stepping into dangerous territory. Because this is one of the most common hidden pain sources in cats. Dental disease. By age 3, a large percentage of cats show signs of periodontal disease. And here's what's terrifying. It's often invisible at first. No dramatic bleeding. No obvious broken teeth. Just mild gum inflammation. Tartar buildup. Subtle bad breath. And because cats keep eating, owners assume everything is fine. But here's what most people don't realize. Cats will continue eating even with severe dental pain. They don't stop unless it becomes extreme. They adjust. Chew on one side. Swallow more whole pieces. Eat slower. Avoid dry food quietly. You might think, she's just picky. But what if that's when it started? Because untreated dental disease doesn't just stay in the mouth. Bacteria enter the bloodstream. Experts warn that chronic dental infection can contribute to heart strain, kidney stress, liver inflammation. This isn't cosmetic. It's systemic. And the longer it goes unnoticed, the more irreversible the damage becomes. But dental pain isn't the only silent threat. There's something even more common. And almost every older cat experiences it to some degree. Yet most owners never get told early enough. And it starts quietly. With jumping. We'll expose that in part 2. Because if your cat hesitates before jumping, that is not random. And if she's over 7, this next section is critical. Don't assume she's just agging. That assumption costs people thousands every year. And worse, it costs cats years of comfortable life. In part 2 we uncover the first physical movements pain affects, the micro signs of early arthritis, the hidden link between kidney disease and behavior changes, and the exact moment silent damage becomes visible. Because once you see it, you'll never unsee it. And you may realize it already started. Then, let me ask you something directly. When was the last time your cat jumped onto the highest surface in your home? The top shelf, the refrigerator, that tall cabinet she used to claim like a throne. And if she doesn't anymore, did you assume she just outgrew it? Because this right here is where most owners get it wrong. Pain in cats rarely begins with crying. It begins with hesitation. A pause, a calculation, a quieter route. And that hesitation, that's often the first physical sign that something inside is not right. The jump test no one talks about. Healthy cats love vertical space. Climbing is confidence. Jumping is instinct. Height is security. So when a cat stops jumping as high, uses stairs instead of leaping, pulls herself up instead of springing, hesitates before landing. That is not random. Experts warn that subtle mobility changes are one of the earliest indicators of chronic joint pain. And here's the part that should concern you. Arthritis in cats is wildly underdiagnosed. Studies have shown that a high percentage of cats over age 7 show radiographic signs of arthritis. But owners rarely notice early. Why? Because cats adapt. They don't limp dramatically like dogs. They don't cry when they land wrong. They redistribute weight. They move slower. They avoid what hurts. And you assume she's just getting older. But agging doesn't equal pain. Untreated inflammation does. And here's what happens next if it's ignored. Muscles weaken. Movement decreases further. Weight may increase. Joint damage accelerates. Silent damage. Building. This mistake costs people thousands every year in advanced care, when early intervention could have made it manageable. But arthritis isn't the only quiet destroyer. There's something more dangerous. Something that doesn't show in movement at first. Something that starts in the litter box. The litter box lie. Has your cat started drinking slightly more water, urinating a little more frequently, leaving larger clumps, losing a bit of weight without dieting? Most people don't measure these things. We eyeball it. We assume. But kidney disease is one of the most common silent conditions in cats. And it doesn't start loud. It starts microscopic. Gradual loss of kidney function. Tiny changes in filtration. Small shifts in thirst and urination. Cats compensate beautifully at first. They drink more to offset it. They keep eating. They still move around. You tell yourself, she seems fine. But kidney damage is often irreversible once advanced. By the time dramatic symptoms appear, vomiting, severe lethargy, loss of appetite, it's already progressed significantly. Experts warn that early detection is everything. But early detection requires noticing microshifts. And most owners don't track them. Because we don't expect silent damage. We expect obvious illness. But cats don't operate that way. And here's the emotional part. Your cat could be uncomfortable right now. And still greet you. Still purr. Still look normal. That's not comfort. That's instinct. The slow fade of personality. Now we're entering the part that breaks people. Because this doesn't feel medical. It feels emotional. Has your cat stopped sleeping next to you? Become slightly irritable? Withdrawn from interaction? Hissed when touched in certain areas? We often label this as, she's moody. He's grumpy. She's independent. But chronic pain changes behavior. When joints hurt, cats avoid touch. When teeth ache, they don't want chin rubs. When organs feel off, they conserve energy. Behavioral changes are often dismissed because they don't look physical. But this is where silent suffering hides best. Cats don't scream. They distance. And here's the most dangerous pattern. Owners adjust to the new personality. They normalize it. But that shift, that might have been the moment pain started. And here's something experts rarely emphasize enough. Pain alters stress hormones. Stress alters immune function. Chronic inflammation compounds. So what begins as mild discomfort can escalate into systemic strain. Quietly, relentlessly, until one day, it's obvious. But by then, it's not early anymore. The microfracture equivalent in cats. In humans, small injuries build. In cats, small stresses accumulate. Mild dental plaque becomes periodontal disease. Slight kidney inefficiency becomes chronic failure. Minor joint stiffness becomes advanced arthritis. Because nothing screams at the beginning, everything whispers. And here's the psychological trap. If nothing looks urgent, we don't act urgently. That's human nature. But feline biology punishes delay. And this is where part 3 becomes critical. Because there are specific conditions, specific triggers, that experts quietly say they wish owners understood sooner, including one condition that many clinics now screen for earlier because it hides better than almost anything else. If your cat is over 5, this next section could change how you observe her starting today. Because part 3 reveals the conditions vets say owners miss most, the fall safety signs that trick people, why vet-approved routines sometimes aren't enough, and the chronic pain cycle that begins long before diagnosis. And one of these might shock you, because it doesn't start in the joints or the kidneys. It starts in something most owners consider harmless. Let's expose it. #clapperboard Part 3, the CONDITIONSEXPRTS wish you'd catch early. If your cat still eats, you assume she's okay. If she still uses the litter box, you assume she's fine. If she still jumps occasionally, you assume there's no pain. That assumption is where silent damage thrives. Let's dismantle the biggest myths. #myth 1, if she's eating, her teeth are fine. This is one of the most dangerous false safety beliefs in pet care. Cats will eat through dental pain. They adapt by swallowing food more whole, chewing on one side, avoiding hard kibble, eating smaller amounts more frequently. Dental disease doesn't begin with dramatic tooth loss. It begins with gingivitis, mild inflammation, plaque accumulation under the gum line, and below that gum line, bacteria. Those bacteria can enter the bloodstream. Experts warn that chronic oral infection has been linked to systemic stress on organs. And because this builds slowly, owners don't realize anything is wrong. By the time drooling, pouring at the mouth, or refusal to eat occurs, the damage may already be significant. This is why early dental checks are not optional. They're protective. And here's something many owners don't know. Bad breath is not normal cat breath. It's often early warning. #myth 2, she's just slowing down with age. Let's confront this directly. Agging does not automatically mean suffering, but untreated inflammation does. Arthritis pain can begin subtly at 5-7 years old. Yet many cats aren't diagnosed until much later. Why? Because stiffness after rest looks like laziness. Hesitation before jumping looks like caution. Sleeping more looks like maturity. But chronic joint pain alters quality of life long before it looks dramatic. And untreated joint pain leads to muscle wasting, weight gain, reduced mobility, increased stress hormones, which further worsen inflammation. It becomes a cycle. Silent, progressive, avoidable if caught early. #myth 3, if blood work was fine last year, we're good. Kidney disease progression can be gradual. Early stages may not trigger obvious outward symptoms, which is why regular veterinary monitoring, especially in middle-aged and senior cats, is critical. Because once severe symptoms appear, we are no longer preventing, we are managing. And management is not the same as protection. This is why experts push earlier screening, not to scare you, but because early intervention changes outcomes. #the behavioral pain loop. Here's something rarely discussed. Chronic discomfort affects mood. Cats in persistent low-level pain may avoid social contact, hide more, startle easily, show mild aggression when touched. Owners misinterpret this as personality change, but often it's a protective response. If touching hurts, avoidance becomes instinct. And when we punish or ignore that behavior change, we miss the signal entirely. Now we need to shift. Because awareness without action leads to anxiety. And this is not about fear. It's about protection. In the final part, we build the framework, the practical system, the early detection blueprint that puts you ahead of silent damage. Because your cat won't announce pain, but you can learn to see it before it grows. And once you do, you become her advantage. Let's build that now. #Clapperboard Part 4, How to Protect Your Cat Before Pain Takes Hold. Take a breath. This isn't about panic. It's about power. Because now you understand something most owners don't. Pain doesn't start when it becomes obvious. It starts quietly. So here's how to stay ahead of it. Step 1. Watch movement patterns, not just activity. Ask yourself monthly. Is she jumping as high as before? Does she hesitate before landing? Does she avoid certain surfaces? Even subtle changes matter. Early vet conversations about mobility can introduce joint support strategies before severe arthritis develops. Step 2. Monitor the litter box. Notice increased thirst, larger urine clumps, weight loss, appetite changes. Don't wait for vomiting or lethargy. Those are late signs. Step 3. Check the mouth monthly. Look for red gum lines, tartar buildup, bad breath, drooling. Dental care is not cosmetic. It protects organs. Step 4. Track personality shifts. If your affectionate cat withdraws, if your calm cat becomes irritable, ask why. Don't assume attitude. Investigate discomfort. Step 5. Schedule preventative screening. Especially if your cat is over 5 years old, less active than before, drinking more water, showing grooming changes. Early blood work and exams are not overreactions. They're prevention. Early warning signs recap. Reduced jumping, sleeping more than usual, subtle weight loss, increased thirst, behavior shifts, bad breath, grooming changes. None of these scream, but together, they whisper clearly. Your cat won't show pain the way you expect, but now you know when it starts, and knowledge removes the blind spot. So let me ask you, which one shocked you the most? Have you unknowingly dismissed any of these signs? Comment below. Your experience could help another cat owner notice something earlier. And subscribe before the next hidden danger harms your pet. Because what you feed your cat might be causing even more silent damage than these conditions. Watch that next. Protect early. Act sooner. Because she depends on you to see what she refuses to show.